Hello, adventurers all. All right, so
What?
uh, session
Yeah,
one
what's up?
ended with the gang finally or session one began. Excuse me, with the gang finally getting back together again, backstage of Meshach's concert. Uh, a mysterious dragonborn who Meshach recognized as a figure named Boros the Blunt. He looked very blunt, to be frank. And a known associate of Kenneth Kennedy came and basically said, "Whatever you guys are doing, you can't trust Seamus. Come talk to Kenneth Kennedy in the city hall tomorrow." And with that, he disappeared in the shadows and not stay for conversation, leaving you guys time to reconnect and head back to the Sentinel's Rest Tavern, Seamus's temporary headquarters in the city's place of residence in the city, an opulent but rough and tumble tavern on the great hill overlooking the city. Um, as you guys traveled back through the dark streets of Waterdeep, you came upon a scene of literal bloody murder. Uh, Clearly, a fight had broken out. Some sort of running battle between some soldiers of the Gilded Legion and some sort of barbaric-looking cultists, as well as several dead civilians. You guys followed this trail of blood to an actual fight where um, cultists seem to have some civilians and soldiers of the Gilded Legion trapped in some sort of inn. You guys successfully fought off the cultists and rescued Commander Vathar, who is this drow pictured. Um, he thanked you for your assistance in saving him and the civilians he's protecting, and brought you guys to the Sentinel's Rest Tavern. There, you encountered, as well as Commander Vathar, you encountered a cunning old half-elf named Trello Whitescalp, and a beautiful but deadly-looking tiefling by the name of Zamora Baneblood. Uh, as you guys waited to actually meet Seamus himself, you could hear the sound of some sort of physical questioning going on in the side room until the man himself entered. Um, Fists bloody, swigging wine from a goblet, and greeted you all warmly as if you were conquering heroes, as if you were the best friend he had just met in his life. Um, Exchanges of pleasantries followed, a little bit of light-hearted banter. Several hundred gold was given out on a whim to, I believe, Owen's character, and who else got 100 gold?
Meshach.
Meshach also got 100 gold. Because Seamus liked you. That brings us to the point where Seamus extended an offer, telling you that he's trying to root out this cultist activity that is tearing Waterdeep apart. The city guard and the powers that be have been wholly insufficient at doing so. And if anyone's going to bring order to Waterdeep, it is going to be him and his men. That being said, he's well aware of the limitations of his forces. They are a blunt object, a hammer that can kill but cannot surgically infiltrate these threats. That is where you come in. He's offering to hire you as members of the Gilded Legion to infiltrate, to eliminate the leadership of these cults, because he's been unable to discover who they are. With that being said, he's offering to hire you as high-ranking operatives and with lavish rewards, and has offered you the contract you can see in general chat. Trello Whitescalp says appearing to be some sort of financial advisor / accountant / secretary / lawyer, hands you this long scroll, and then a second shorter scroll that appears to be a negation clause for the contract. That is where we will begin this session. Each of you standing in this late night in this upper level of the Sentinel's Rest, with the Trello holding out his hand, with the contract extended towards the party.
So we're back in his office, correct?
Yes, you're in the top, the fourth floor of the Sentinel's Rest. In appears to be a meeting chamber that overlooks the city.
Okay.
I'll take the contract and I will hand it immediately to Luis.
It's just Louis.
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 Okay.
After Louis de Montfort, the great saint.
It is about this time, several minutes later, that a servant comes scurrying up the stairs behind you guys with 2 sacks and offers one to Owen's character and offers one to Meshach.
Meshach's gonna take it. And he's gonna begin like dumping a little bit of it out and counting it one by one to make sure it's all there.
It's all there.
Seamus is not one to lie about his gifts. Okay. So we're still at the table with these folks.
Yeah, you guys are standing in front of this table. He would be in that middle chair, but I couldn't get the image to generate right.
Okay. Is there I'm just gonna start like skimming it to start, which I've had a kind of a chance to do. There are definitely some concerning clauses, naturally. Louis will then look up towards the group, specifically the Mr. Lawyer, Accountant, X, Y, or Z, and be like, is there any room for proposed addendums to this, or is this like set in stone as is?
Talk to Trello. Trello will sort of turn to you. I'm sure we could come to an agreement.
Well, how long have we to review?
Excuse me.
Forgive me. How long have we to make our decision?
This is a rather pressing matter. If we could have a decision by the end of the night. Seamus will interject. You can have the night. You all. I have a room for each of you here, and you're drinking and eating on us. I will be downstairs, and I would love to get to know each of you a bit better. And with that, he's going to sort of, instead of like sliding the chair back, he's really going to push the table forward, stand up, walk around it, and just sort of walk through. You guys are like patting you on the back, that sort of stuff, and just walk through the group and sort of just waddle downstairs. You hear a yell, and you hear him yelling. It's like, "Oi! There's a problem here. My hands are empty." And other things as he disappears down the stairs.
Yeah.
When he leaves, I'm going to turn to the group and simply say, let's seriously look into this list of demands and critiques before we actually sign anything.
Yes, I'm sad to see that we have only one night. I was hoping to engage in drink and revelry.
I think he's hoping that you want that too and don't read the contract.
Yeah.
Zamora, the tiefling, is going to wordlessly follow Seamus down the stairs. Vathar is going to sit there and sort of watch, just sort of look each of you guys over for a minute. Before he's going to sort of like just stand up, sort of like he's got a sore back, sort of thing. Go, and he'll come up to I don't know where. Thomas, are you there? Tom, are you there? Oh, he's literally not there. Okay. He'll come up to you guys. Don't overthink it. There's a lot of crap in it. I know. It never rarely comes into play. You play by the rules. He plays by the rules.
How did you made it, right?
Everyone in the Legion has signed this contract.
Have you seen it? Have you seen the contract deal negative to someone?
Only those who broke discipline.
Can I? Okay. Okay. Okay.
You follow the contract. Things are working out rather well for us. They can for you too. And he will, unless there's any further questions for him, he will head down the stairs as well.
I'd love to, Louis, if you're fine with it. If I like start scanning over it, either over your shoulder or if you hand it, whatever.
No, we can kind of just lay it out on a table and keep
All of it.
and read it.
Oliver pulls out like some small like glasses. He's like,
Can you just briefly describe your character for me, Tristan? I don't remember him.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
guess we.
please. For sure. Let me I have his
Do you have art?
art pulled up. Share it
Yes.
with you.
Nice.
A little bit more hobgoblin-y than ChatGPT decided to make him, but that's pretty close to what it is. Anyway, I'm gonna pull out some like thin wire-rimmed glasses. Give a quick look over. As the one dude is going down the stairs, who was talking to us. Is there a termination clause? Is there an end to this contract?
Yes, and he'll. So you were handed two contracts. There was another shorter contract that is the negation clause, which is also in the general chat.
That's what I was missing. All right, great. Negation clause. I will make an investigation roll just for funsies, if that's
Okay.
fine with you.
Yeah, please do.
Well, it's a 2 on die, so it ain't gonna do much.
This contract looks rock solid. Just the most upstanding contract you've ever seen in your entire life.
5. I love that. Well, I mean, I think, really what he said, as long as we don't do anything they don't want us to do, then we're fine. And don't take any, gear from them. But if they give it to you, don't lose it. And, yeah. That's about it. That's what I'm seeing.
So where are we at this time? Are we still in the room with the big three?
You guys are in the top room. Only Trello, the white scalp, is still there with you. The others have left. Vathar gave a word like, yeah, the contract's fine. We all signed it. Everyone, then he left. But it's just you guys looking over the contract with Trello, who's sitting there like he doesn't have the time of day for you guys.
I think Jacob is going to do his best to actually read this through. And as part of that, he's gonna find, I think, section 19, and is gonna move over toward Louis.
Section
And
19. Article 19?
sorry, Article 19. You're so right.
Yes.
Article 19, and he's going to ask Louis to interpret this for him. He says, Louis, you are a holy man as well. What do you make of this?
Is this the one where it's like the oath, seals, and sacred binding?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
That's
it
also
says-
one I had some concerns about.
Yeah, so the soul is bound to fidelity. Well, Trello,
Yes. Yes. What is your question?
I fear that if I signed this, I would be incapable of appropriately swearing my soul, for indeed it is already spoken for.
Oh, that's. You'll find language in that in contracts across the Sword Coast. It is a thing of honor, not law. You are not
Didn't
giving
mean
us
to
your
say
souls,
that-
you are swearing your soul to serve us loyally. We do not possess your soul, but you are swearing your soul to fidelity to us, if that makes more sense.
What
We
if,
have no claim to your soul itself.
So if you serve a different idea outside of this contract, you can't sign the contract?
There is no ideology in this contract. We have a wide variety of different practitioners in our ranks. A number of the cult of Tyr, I might add.
Yeah, I see how this works. It's just open-minded.
Yes, precisely.
Or more symbolic than anything.
Well, I guess we should probably head downstairs and get ourselves a drink and actually look at this.
You are most welcome to do so. As Seamus has commanded, all our facilities are at your disposal.
Okay. Clayton is will kind of lead the charge and head downstairs.
All right. I assume will the rest of you follow? Is there anything else we want to do upstairs?
I will kind of linger behind. And I would like to ask Mr. White Scalp, as that's what it was, right?
Trello, White Scalp. Yep.
Yep, Mr. White Scalp question. I'd like to consider the proposal of a clause saying that this, at least as you can understand, I think in my case, that any command or part of this contract that be against the teachings and authority of the Catholic Church, as I am subject to, would make it null and void, seeing as that authority has greater hold and will always.
Perhaps as interpreted by our resident Catholic, authority, the Bishop Fabius, would that be favorable to you?
What do I know about this bishop?
Roll a history check.
17.
So you definitely recognize the name of Bishop Fabius Krieg.
Okay.
You know him as you've never met him personally, but you would know him as a fairly upstanding, his reputation at least is pretty straight laced. Doesn't really step out of line sort of figure. One thing that you would note of interest is that he was the Bishop of Helmshold.
Which Helmshold is.
Helmshold is a city
Oh.
that has disappeared.
So
that is
I would
gone.
have recognized him.
Well,
Yes?
yeah, you went downstairs.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
lingering
was
back.
he always in? Oh wait, was he not part of the key? Wait, sorry. Who is this person?
Bishop Fabius Krieg is or was, you don't know where he is. You don't know anything about him, except you might have met him, but he's the Bishop of Helmshold, which is no longer present on the Sword Coast, and his reputation is that a very very unobtrusive, straight-laced bishop. Doesn't like get in the headlights or headlines or anything like that.
Complete side tangent. We should totally draw diocesan lines in Faerun.
I was gonna say which bishop is the in charge of Yartar. That's what I need to know.
Diocese of Silvery Moon for sure.
I'm just gonna say I would prefer
Fabius.
it being the bishop that I under the diocesan. I am under his diocesan purview.
Yes, but compromise is the art of the deal, is it not? Fabius is an upstanding man, and he has served us well for several years now. We have a good relationship with him. He's actually hired us on several occasions.
Still reading the contract, Olvar kind of glances up absentmindedly. He baptized my kids 10 years ago. And back down.
Small world, is it not?
Something of that sort, for sure. I will consider this, and then I'll head down too.
And perhaps regarding you, Jacob, regarding the binding of souls to fidelity, if that sort of language makes you uncomfortable, I'd be perfectly comfortable with removing that clause entirely. Or at least changing the language to not use any language regarding soul's essence, mind, will, anything of that sort. Of course, you would still be sworn to fidelity to your employers, as you would be at any respectable organization.
Yes, the law I am more than willing to answer to, but you know, I'm pleased by your receptiveness to my concern.
Yes, I live to please.
I cannot read this, dude.
I can read it, most of them, and it all basically just says, hey, it's up to the employer's interpretation. That's like basically the summary of everything of all those finance.
Well, there's one
Or-
that has a smaller part, and then the under Article 20, there's like subtext to the subtext.
There is.
But there's multiple subtext clauses in some parts. You're right.
I can't read the smallest one though. It's so small.
Well, Article 20.
There's like there's stars,
repetition-
and then there's I think that's
The repetition of articles shall not be construed as redundancy, but as reinforcement of binding force.
yeah.
1 second, guys. I'm getting a quick call.
It's just doing a double round, which is very funny. I don't know if this was part of ChatGPT or yours, Blake.
It
but-
was I ChatGPT gave me most of it. Then I came in.
Mhm. It's pretty fun.
So hey, I haven't really had. I'm still not really in possession of internet. I suspect that's clear. Blake, I asked you a question earlier
I'm sorry.
about clarifying an article. My understanding of your response was essentially from Trello that soul isn't really a legally binding term and doesn't really the law doesn't
So what he
regard it.
told you is regarding the use of the word soul is they're not actually, you are not swearing your soul to the organization. You are swearing your soul to your fidelity to the organization, as in you are not going to lie or cheat the organization. But he also says that we're not actually asking for your soul is not at stake here. That's not what that clause says. It's really just a way of saying your part of this contract is you're basically swearing to be honest and loyal to your employers.
Gotcha. Okay.
And he also said he's perfectly willing to rephrase that to take out that sort of soul sort of language.
Okay.
What does it sound? What does it sound?
I'm heading downstairs.
All right.
I'm
Finish
also
reading
heading downstairs.
Put the
Um,
spectacles away, and looks pretty good. We'll see what happens.
You'll see when you get downstairs, Clayton has a table. He has himself
Can I bring anything? You think?
A beverage that is a very strong beverage that he's sipping.
Yeah,
All right.
I subscribe jumpers and stuff like that. But
You guys will come down. Seamus he's going around sort of talking to this third floor. The second to the highest floor is sort of an upper level officers. There's not a lot of enlisted men or anything up here. Lot more finer clothes and better drinks. None of the raucous activities downstairs. No, I should say not raucous, but no outright brawls. Seamus will come and see Clayton sitting down. And he's going to come down with a mug in each hand. Come down, slap another mug in front of you, Clayton, and he'll sit down there and down his sort of ale going down his beard and stuff, halfway empty right off the bat. Good to see you down.
guys,
That legalese is pretty old, real quick, don't it?
Who's this to?
He's sitting there with you.
Oh, okay.
yeah, guys, just quick thing. I have to go run and my wife's car broke down again. So we thought we fixed it.
no.
Apparently we didn't. So I have to go because she's in a grocery store parking lot. So
Okay.
I'm gonna go take a look quick. Sorry,
Go
guys.
rescue your princess.
There you go.
I'm gonna do
Godspeed.
my best.
Soldier. Hoorah.
Alrighty. I'll see you guys later. I'll hopefully be able to pop on in a bit, but I'll let you know.
Yeah.
He's gonna go. So, how long has this group been around? How long have you had this group? I guess.
We started, as you know, of my exploits. We saved the Sword Coast. Not to speak too highly of myself. Me and another party saved the Sword Coast about 4 years ago from the Giants. The same thing you were involved with. Big misinterpretation, political thing, assassination, whole thing. But of course, after that, my organization stemmed from the aftermath of that. I returned home to my home in Citadel Velbar, a newly rich man, and as you might know, some of your armor might have been made in my forges, actually. Actually, no, that wasn't made in mine. No offense. I would love to get you some, actually. It's very good armor. Yes, we've been on the rise for the past several years now.
Well, with the connections that you have, what do you know? What do you know about Helm's Hold recently? Any whereabouts on if it's gotta be somewhere. It's not like it's burned down.
He'll just lean forward. My scouts tell me that where the city once was is now just nothing. The earth just ends into a great abyss.
Oh, like a big hole?
A hole has a bottom. As best we can tell, there's nothing.
Have you jumped in yourself, Seamus?
No, it's. No, I have not.
Then it could still be a hole.
Very well might.
Well, sounds like this town needs help.
That's true, and no one's doing anything about it, or hasn't been, until we got here.
So I don't mean to push buttons, but your competitor, I guess. Why is he on Capitol Hill and not you?
My competitor?
Don't you have... I forgot the guy's name.
I assume you're talking about
Characterizing Kenneth Kennedy as Seamus's competitor seems amiss. They
You're
run in
speaking
different
Kennedy.
fields.
Kennedy. I go way back. We are good friends.
Oh, okay.
I've no ill will towards that little man.
Can I like see if there's some bad blood in that? Like,
Insight check.
thank you.
Olvar goes to the bar and asks for a boot. Do they have boots here?
They got whatever you want.
Great. Okay, I'm gonna come around and sit at the table with a big old boot.
Yeah, you.
Maybe want to pass it around?
I got a 14, Blake, on my insight.
As best you can tell, Seamus has no ill will towards Kenneth Kennedy.
Okay.
He seems to be perfectly honest in his appraisal of him.
All right. All right. Well,
I will say he's a good man, but his methods have been tried and found wanting. The city was nearly an open revolt before we got here. The Legion is the only thing holding it together.
It is perhaps that Kenneth Kennedy has not been in power for, too long. It's his full term's not even up, and who can actually get anything really done in one term?
You're right, but he's not in a position to get anything. He's embroiled in bureaucracy and politics. I, as an independent citizen, with loyal employees, will be free to step outside all their red tape and courts and whatever may have it, and find those causing the problem and deal with them.
do you
You're
think...
right. You are incredibly effective at dealing with things outside of the law and in their own way. While the politics of the realm does take a long time, they provide the foundational structure for the society that you have built your dynasty off of, really. So I wouldn't be so hard on Kenneth Kennedy, actually. He has his troubles with Osmir in Yartar, and has made his way over to Silver Moon every once in a while, and I know that he's now relocated here for the time being, so he could be more in touch with the Lord's Alliance. But that being said, I can't help to point out, Mr. Seamus, that without his red tape work, the very structure of society might not be able to uphold the kingdom of arms and whatever else you do.
What do you know about me? You're a smooth talker. You act like you know everything, but you know nothing of what I am.
No, I only just spent a few years inside the capital, inside Waterdeep itself, sitting in on the Lord's Alliance meetings, right next to Kenneth Kennedy. So yes, I do know nothing.
I like, you can talk, and I like men who can talk. So he leans forward.
He cheers his wine glass towards you.
He'll raise his
cheers.
go. He'll hit you with it, pretty hard. You can't tell if it's out of like you actually pissed him off or he's actually having a good time. You can't really get a read on that. I mean, I guess you could try, but
Mishak is laid back and he's like sitting back with feet on the table. You can see his nice black shiny boots on the table that again are shiny. They're not super dirty right now. He's not fazed by this social interaction with Seamus at all.
Now, I propose we play a game. It's a Legion tradition. We call it, not particularly inventive, we call it Scar Cup. The way this works, and Zamora, would you bring it? Yeah, bring it. And Zamora from across the room just sort of catch his eye, nod her head, and go to the bar and get just a colossal, like a big wooden bowl filled with what appears to be some sort of liquor, and set it down on the table, and sit down next to as she leans down, she kisses Seamus on the cheek, and then sits down next to him. Scar Cup. The way this works is we go around the table, and you have to show a scar. Like so, and he'll like pull back his fur coat, like just show you one of many dozens of scars on his body. Tell us how you got it, and what it taught you. If anyone doesn't believe you and you can't back it up, or you run out of things to say, you drink. Yes? The scars need not be physical. If any of you have daddy issues, we'd love to hear about them. I'll go first. And he'll stand up on the table, put one leg like that, lift his kilt up, and show you like a bite mark on his thigh. This one I got wrestling a dire wolf. What it taught me, what it taught me is that domestication takes thousands of years. He'll take the ball, pass it to his right. Who wants to be sitting at Seamus's right?
Probably Clayton.
Take this bowl, slap it down next to you.
He'll take it and set it down. He brings his armor and he brings it down, and you see a small cut and says that that was from a robber. They were robbing a small town bakery. What have you learned? You need to watch your back. I set it down to the next person.
Seamus leans forward like he wants to say something. then I'll be right back.
Well, speaking of baking, I'm not sure this one.
There's like kind of like right along here on Olvar's arm. His skin's already fairly red, but this is like a long kind of like welt-looking scar, a burn mark.
This one's pretty funny. Well, see, where all the kids are running around in the house, and my wife's telling me, "Hey, go get the bread out of the oven and everything." And I go in, and my youngest Colson, you'll meet him sometime. He's with us, but he comes over, bumps me on, right onto the iron, just branded it clean on. Yeah. I guess what it teach me. One, I should probably put some eyes on my butt, but maybe two. Yeah, some of the good times always have some scars to them. Here, Jacob, excuse me.
Yes. Jacob pulls up a sleeve, and right here on his bicep, there's like a patch of skin that has reformed, like tough, scarred. He says, "In a sense, this one was self-inflicted. The club of a hill giant drove my bone through my skin."
Badass.
Well, I suppose what I learned from this one is that a shield can only protect so much. Block the wrong blow in the wrong way, it might give you more trouble than just taking the hit.
Those giants were crazy. I'm impressed that all of you're what was it? Desert Storm? That was impressive work that you all did, really.
Yes, yeah, of course. It was quite an adventure. And, many things were learned upon the way, for sure. I appreciate your compliments. All that being said, heroes across the realm surfaced like yourselves. We might have saved the world, but if it were not for men such as all of you here, we would have returned to find it half burnt down.
Plenty of scars to show for that one.
I'm sure those go around. Meshach, you got anything to mar that pretty face of yours?
He rolls up his shirt, and you see a cut on his wrist. This one taught me that apparently there is more than one way to deal with your own demons.
You got to follow the rules, Meshach. How'd you get it?
Well,
Or you can drink.
he takes a drink from his wine glass.
All right, excellent. No, you got to drink from the bowl.
I told you I don't play by the rules.
You drink from the bowl, or you tell us how you got it.
I've learned, Seamus, over the years that men of power will always try to influence people. And that perhaps is what power maybe actually is. It's just other people imposing their own will upon others. He knocks over his wine glass, says oops, as it hopefully spills onto the contract a little bit. And Mishek is going to get up and walk to the other side of the bar and sit down.
The
next to the
contract
fire.
the contract is still upstairs, unless I'm
Okay.
going to assume it's still upstairs.
He metaphorically does that.
You'll hear Seamus spit on the ground as you leave. I'm sorry about that. Some people are no fun. Anyways, Zamora. Zamora will grab the bowl, and you can notice on her otherwise like perfect face, she's got a jagged scar up one side. She'll look around and make eye contact with you, take the bowl, and take a big swig of it, and pass it to the right back to Seamus.
When she drinks it, how is she feeling when she drinks it?
How is she feeling? She she sort of just like catches her breath a little bit, but she seems fine.
Okay.
So you one more round?
You first.
Aye. And he'll again pull back his fur cape and sort of turn it and show a collection of just it's like just a generic like sort of scar on his back shoulder. That's from my father. Taught me nobility isn't everything.
Can I'm just gonna maybe look very closely at the scars, see if I can discern through some investigation or
Roll a
probably
medicine check.
medicine check. Okay. Just like
That's
what how it like okay. Now this dice really just does not like to roll with me. 8.
It looks like a generic like something like it looks like the bone might not have like a shoulder blade is sort of healed back like it was maybe broken to the point just the angle's a little bit off. And it clearly
It's like
broke.
blunt,
Huh?
like a blunt object.
Yeah, something bludgeoning. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Your father wield a club?
Depended on the context. At home, he wielded whatever was at hand.
Well, sorry that happened.
Ah, I'm not. He's dead. I'm filthy rich. One of the most powerful men on the Sword Coast. I just wish he was still alive so he could see me and I could show him what he made me. Strong is what he made. Now take the bowl, slap it over to you, Clinton.
Clayton will look at the bowl and give it a minute. And he takes his shield off, sets it on his lap, and points at the sigil on his shield, and it is it is the guard symbol at the Helm's Hold. And
It's the what one's holding?
it is the I don't know. So it's the It's a guard's shield from the Helm's Hold.
It's like got the Helm's coat of arms on it.
Yeah, it'd be So the coat of arms from Helm's Hold, and he'll go. I've seen innocents die too much from wearing this symbol. What I've learned is to never kill again. Looking straight at Seamus. Puts it back, takes his glass, takes the whole thing down, slams it down, walk up and go over to Louis.
We're not a lot of fun here. There's too much edge in this room. We got to lighten up here. Jacob, tell me
Certainly.
something. Oh, Olvar, excuse me.
Well, it's certainly a game that you learn quite a bit about people. Well, for mine here,
He kind of undoes the shirt a little bit, pulls out a very like wiry, hairy chest, and one patch of it, just like this kind of spider crackle of
this one, magic. My old teacher, I guess, who helped me with my own Uncle G, we like to call him in the family. This was our kind of final test of sorts as I was leaving in a few weeks. Colson has some worse ones from there, but his training was a little bit more intense and self-inflicted. Anyway. Here, Jacob.
Jacob takes off the gauntlet that caps his right hand, revealing a hand underneath to Seamus. And on that hand, just around the thumb, there is very heavy scarring. And he looks at Seamus and he says, this scar, inflicted by my own father. He, in his great cruelty, taught me that honor means perhaps not everything, but something. And it can, well, a life lived without honor can reduce a great warrior to a savage. You seem to me to be a great warrior, and have proven yourself a man of great joy, though I don't claim to know you well enough to know much else. I look forward to knowing you better.
I appreciate your words. I must. What I'm saying. These men of honor, these men of nobility, they hide behind their walls, and they call themselves civilized. But what happens when those walls come down, when the giants come knocking at sheep? It's to men like you, both of you, who are strong, who can make their way in the world, who know when to lead and when to follow. They are the ones that will save this world. That is what I must. That is what I choose to live by.
There is, I suppose, an inclination of civil men to confuse honor and cowardice. Perhaps you are right about that.
regardless, I hope you all enjoy your night. I will be around if you wish to continue speaking, but I'm going to go to the lower levels and carouse with the troops.
Hmm.
But this was fun, and I hope to do it again. I hope you'll join me, and there's much I desire to share with you. Slap the table, stand up, and he will go walk off into the crowds, people partying around him until he's swallowed up by the crowds.
Jacob, what do you think of him?
He's a warrior, true, but he has little patience for those who do not claim the warrior's path.
Or maybe the path that sons that have been wounded by their fathers often take.
Many sons have been wounded by fathers.
I think that's what I've maybe learned the most of today.
Well, fathers make their sons regardless, the right way or the wrong.
Well, I don't know if there ever is a right way, really.
Well, we
At
know
least from
there are
my
wrong ways.
Well, that's for sure. I'm gonna reach my empty boot into the bowl that's still there and just like take a little sip. Yeah, what's it like? What's this
That's
stuff?
easily some of the strongest stuff you've ever tasted. Like it's basically D&D Everclear.
Is
Whoa.
it like is there any attempt at taste, or are we sipping straight Malort?
Like there's an attempt. Like it's got some sort of spice thing to it,
Yeah.
a little bit of sweet, but that's like, yeah, this is technically it's not straight alcohol, you know.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I think I taste a little bit of the bowl. Maybe. Oh, you gotta, Jacob, you gotta try this stuff. That's kind of crazy.
Well. This is good, but I think it would serve us well to speak to some others before our business here concludes, if you understand me rightly.
Certainly. Wouldn't have it any other way. I might
Clayton-
go. No, go ahead.
No, don't finish your thing. My bad.
I was just gonna say we better get talking to some people. So
Okay.
go ahead.
I said it wrong. Meshach, not Louis. Clayton will go to Meshach, presumably at the other end of the bar. How's Meshach doing?
Mishek is just next to the fire, plucking away at his guitar or his lute. Sort of just almost like he's making the fire dance with thaumaturgy and or prestidigitation to like the tune that he's playing, and he's sort of just like almost like solemnly delighting in the simplicity of the fire dancing. And he's pretty dialed in, but he's not unaware that you have sat down next to him.
Sure. When he hears you playing, he'll kind of you'll see a glow from his chest, from his cross or his pendant, and you'll feel a surge of positivity as he casts guidance on you, and
He just does a crazy riff after that.
And you go, Clay, have you been here before? At least performed here.
No, No, I. Does it look like I have played here before? What are you guys even doing here? And why did you guys come to get me? Couldn't you have done this job by yourself?
Truly, I think we need everyone. You are. I'll stroke your ego. You are the face of this party. You know the ins and outs and how to talk to people unlike any other in our group. So, we need you in this group because none of us can talk like you can.
Some of you guys are a little more. Some of you guys are a little more gentle than I am. That is true, however.
True, but
But if
it's a
if
good
Mr.
mix.
Seamus is in fact asking us to be warriors, I'm afraid Olivar is right. Seamus doesn't like people from who's not in the warrior class. Maybe it was Jacob that said that.
It was, but his prejudice is short-sighted. He's good at stopping problems from happening for a moment, but lasting peace is won through negotiation, not oppression.
I'm only a simple guard. I'm not a warrior. So, I guess I fit into
I've
that
played
boat too.
I've played the negotiation game, Jacob. You saw how it turned out for the Zentarum. Now there claim to be new kind, not corrupt Zentarum. I find it very hard to believe, Jacob, that that negotiation also breeds peace.
The worst that negotiation can do is provide valuable information. Your talk with Seamus tonight did not bring peace to either of you. But we learned, and it showed us a side of his character we may not have seen otherwise.
Indeed. I'm glad I could help for something, but I'm afraid that if you guys are truly entertaining the idea of quote unquote getting the band back together, I'm afraid I have a new band, gentlemen. What Seamus is asking in this contract that is almost a civilized form of slavery, if you've actually read the contract, you know I cannot sign this.
Employment is civilized slavery. Mutually beneficial, but ultimately the terms are dictated by the people with the means.
Perhaps that's why I am self-employed.
Maybe that's the route that we go. Who says that we need to sign a contract at all? Get our resources.
My bank account does.
True.
My bank account does, and if we're being honest, gentlemen, I have missed the stability of you all. But what is the true cost of it all?
Well, there is an opportunity cost, which we do not yet know. Another offer, and my voice quiets as I speak of this in a place where I know there are, ears that I don't want to hear it.
Hmm.
Um, we should speak to Kenneth Kennedy.
Agreed.
Not of what's happened here. He shouldn't know that, unless it's whatever. We should speak to him. He has some kind of offer.
I left his last sending stone message on red for approximately 3 years. But perhaps if I reach out, he might listen.
We were approached with an offer by
You guys were all
one
there.
of
With
Kenneth
Boros.
Kennedy's officers.
You guys were all there.
That was Kenneth Kennedy's officer, not Seamus's. Got it.
Yeah.
Yes, Boros the Blunt is with Kenneth Kennedy.
Got it.
Yes, if he had been one of Seamus's officers, his contract would have been defiled for speaking ill of the patron. Is in violation of the contract. This I knew to be no problem for me, for I speak ill of no one, but, well, I don't like it on principle. Well, should we go now?
If he's home.
It is past midnight.
Not at,
currently.
yeah, not at this time of night. Perhaps in the morning.
I wonder, as we consider our options, if keeping our friends close but our enemies closer is something to consider. That's what draws me to. We can say any good or things as we want. I need to follow this contract, and there are certainly plot holes with many things and traps set here and there, but something to consider. Olvar is still just kind of looking at the fire, Meshach, as you continue to. I assume you're continuing to kind of play around, noodle a little bit in the dancing. And Olvar would be like on a couch or leaning against a bar, like staring at the fire. You're like side by side, parallel. It's a mighty fine talent that you have there, my boy. And I think that some talents and some scars they don't register with others, and yet sometimes they're much harder of a battle to fight. I appreciate both your talents and your scars. So I'd rather you be here with us. Maybe that's why someone went back to get you. Now it is too late for me, and I must go to bed.
I agree.
Unless you were about to say something.
Well, I was just saying, Meshach. Meshach gets a warm feeling in his little tummy after that, and he feels almost more enchanted than even like a guidance spell or a bless spell can even muster. And he smiles at you, Oliver, and says, I appreciate you, Oliver. Your support's always been great. But get to bed, old man.
Nothing that a little beer and the old pop touch can't fix, you know.
I pat my bit of a dad bod, like tummy just kind of sticking out a little bit. Creak up from the couch, couple knees pop, drop one fat hand on your shoulder, Meshach. Give a good neck, little neck, and I go off to a room. Oh, check on the boy.
He's in bed sucking his thumb.
At 18, that'd be a little Akko.
I have a brother.
Yeah, I haven't
fun
potty
fact,
trained him yet
who
either.
does still suck his thumb.
So
Wow, you just outed a family member on live broadcast television of YouTube.
That's
Everyone's
a good point.
watching.
I forgot
Everyone.
about that.
edit that out. Cut that out.
Edit that out. Edit that out. Edit that out.
Edit.
What's that?
You get cut.
I'm not gay. Edit that part out.
Your brother's gonna look at this and go, "Come on."
Right.
If your brother
When
watches this, we'll
millions
have
of
at least one
people-
viewer.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Clayton will also nod his head and say,
Are you going to? You just.
I'm going to do something very similar like I did at the end of our last session. So he'll leave. You will see him checking the time and going, like I'm late for something. And as he opens up the door, you'll see him cast a spell and say, "Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad." And then you'll continue walking. And he will walk until he finds an abandoned house or building or whatever, and he'll go to an abandoned building and make sure no one's there, and then sleep the night.
That abandoned buildings are not hard to find in the current state.
Where are our rooms situated within the
You would be in some of the nicer rooms, so you have rooms on this third floor.
on the third floor? Okay.
Yeah, so there's 4 floors, just sort of. In top floors, obviously like Seamus's quarters, meeting room, that sort. Then floors 3, 2, 1 are in orders of niceness and money you can spend there. And so if you want to sleep lower, no one's going to stop you. But
I might head downstairs to see some availability of the rooms that are where a lot of the seems like the Gilded Legion soldiers are kind of, or like mercenaries like sleep.
yeah, so the second floor would be like lieutenant, like, and it's not just Gilded Legion here. There's also merchants. It's also a tavern and inn, a very big one at that. So there's a wide collection of people here. So yeah, second floor is very middle class, and then first floor is enlisted, working class, that sort of stuff. So it's up to you. No one's going. First floor, third floor is like individual rooms. Second floor would be like 3 or 4 bedrooms to a room. First floor is just big bunk rooms.
Okay. Well, I might at least poke my head down and see what Seamus is up to in his rabble rousing before heading out.
You won't see him until you get down to the first floor, at which point he is in that lowered stone circle in the middle with what would you call them? The big hairy guys, a furbolg in a headlock. Everyone's like laughing and that sort of stuff. All that sort of, classic. And everyone's having a good time. Everyone's bruised and bloody, but it's that sort of scene.
Just gonna look at it for a few minutes, kind of take in the general vibe of Seamus and the rest of his people, or like those in the area.
Yeah, you'll take your time. Roll me an insight check with advantage.
It's a 19.
Okay. They genuinely see, like, there seems to be a spirit of genuine camaraderie in this room. There's like rivalries, there's fighting and all that sort of stuff. There's many people in the room, but there seems like, and a lot of hard men, it's not all like happy sunshine and rainbows, but people here, there's a certain level of trust and camaraderie, along with a lot of other sort of hard edge sort of stuff. And Seamus is everyone likes him. That much is clear pretty immediately.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of whisper to myself before I go back up to the third floor where Colson, my son, is sleeping. I really gotta try and arm wrestle that guy sometime, and I'll head back up.
All right, for Jacob and Meshach, are you going to seek anything out in this tavern, or is anything else you'd like to do this evening?
No, Meshach is very content playing. He's gonna be like, yeah, try writing a couple new songs and dabbling in the new genre that he was just talking with Clayton about, rock and roll, to see if there's any tunes that might stick in the hearts of generations, you know. So he's just gonna like ponder about that for a little bit, but then he's eventually gonna go up to his upstairs room, as it's definitely nicer than his little humble abode in Waterdeep that he has. But
as you're doing that, one of the patrons, assuming a wealthier noble or wealthy man of Waterdeep, will come, and he's just going to straight up drunkenly fall asleep in the chair next to you by the fire. As you do. Jacob, how about you?
I think Jacob is going to choose to join in the festivities, not only because he wants to, and that's like the kind of atmosphere that really suits him.
Are you going downstairs with?
Yeah, going downstairs and like getting drunk and kind of rowdy, but in a like fun way. And hanging out with a bunch of guys, and like maybe that means challenging someone to a drinking contest, and maybe that means, you know, getting into a spirited bar fight. But this is actually the kind of atmosphere that he really thrives in.
Just make me a persuasion check with advantage, just for how the night goes, or performance. One of those. Probably persuasion.
Hey, 11 plus quite possibly nothing. 11 plus 1 is 12.
Yeah, you've got. I mean, you have a good night regardless. You get establish a little bit of notoriety. Like people, you meet a few people. They like you. You win some arm wrestles. You get in there in the ring at one point and show your roll me an athletics check too, just for that of it. Tom.
Yep, I didn't hear any of that. I have been able to hear only falteringly all night. I'm so sorry.
Okay. You got a good night. You do well. You perform well in the arena, all that sort of stuff. Make a lot of friends. You hear a lot of stories from sort of enlisted men and travelers and that sort of stuff. A lot of gossip. People are there. A lot of the more worried gossip is referencing. There seems to be like a month or two ago when the Colts started really getting aggressive. They were sort of they weren't organized or anything, and there seemed to be a bunch of different Colts. But one has been gaining prominence, and its cult has become more common as it seems to absorb other cults. That being these guys you encountered, clad in bone and with jagged, rusty weapons.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is the cults have been in a gang war, but one of them is winning, and that's a huge problem.
That might be one conclusion you take from that. But what you do know is that one of these cults has clearly gained prominence, and a lot of other what used to be gangs or cults or other groups of ill will have been either joining or disappearing. No one really knows, but yeah. Without any further ado, y'all can take a long rest. I'm not sure y'all need a long rest, but you get a long rest.
We had a fight, so yes. I need
That's
spell
right, you
slots
guys
back.
did. You did have a fight. I forgot. Yeah.
I want my spell slots back. And my cool bard abilities. Bardic inspiration.
Of Christ our Lord.
When are we trying to rise?
Clayton will rise up relatively early to get back to the bar. For everyone else.
Sun up. Sun
yeah.
up.
So
And
Sun's
how
up.
you get to the bar, it is under guard. There are 4 soldiers guarding the entrance. It's a big establishment. Almost.
Sure.
Think of this place as almost more a small hotel than a tavern.
yeah, okay.
It's got so there's several guards out at the front who are actually at attention. There seems to be no lack of discipline. They're not sleeping or anything, paying attention. They'll see you approaching,
Okay.
and they will stop you before you. I mean, if it's early in the morning, they're not going to let you just walk in.
Yeah, I'll go up to the guards and say, I got a few of my friends are inside there. We were talking to Lord Seamus last night about some things. May I come in?
Yeah, who are you?
Oh, my name is Clayton Quint.
Oh, excuse me, you're with the Giant Slayers.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm sorry. Yes, right. Let them in, and they'll. The bar is clearly like not at operating hours right now. It's like 6-7 in the morning. Everyone a late night. But you're let in. There's a few people passed out on tables or benches and stuff in this first floor. Most people seem to be in the back of the room, but it's pretty empty.
Okay. I'm actually going to, when I get there, I need to adjust my spells. But when I get there, I'm actually going to, as people are coming in, I'm going to ritually cast, no, that's not what that is. That's just detect. Okay. Who's drunk? I'm gonna pick one of the ones that are, one of the more,
Oh, just random people, or
like you said that there's people like lying on the floor or whatever.
there's like 2 or 3 people still like leaning on tables or that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Half finished drink
Okay.
next to them, that sort of. There's only like 2. There's like 3.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna come up to. Yeah, sure. Why not? I'm feeling happy. I'm gonna go up to both of them and it's gonna glow, and I think this works because I think this is how. And we can certainly, if it doesn't work, let me know. But he's gonna go up to both drunk people and he's going to touch them in the shoulder and cast Lesser Restoration on them. Touch creature ending blindness, deafness, paralyzed, or poisoned, assuming that drunkenness is poisoned.
I'm going to treat alcohol as scientifically speaking a poison. Yes. So, yes.
And I'll give that to both of them. So I'm gonna do 2 slots there.
One's like a commoner who's just there for the night, and the other one is has a badge of the Legion, and they'll both wake up.
There you are,
They're like,
sir.
look at you, like surprised. Can I help you?
Actually,
Will you,
have a good day.
will you try? Jameis doesn't take kindly to pickpockets.
I was not pickpocketing you whatsoever.
I woke up with your hands on me, sir. That's not a.
Simply on your shoulder. I'm just giving you a little bit of a better day today.
What are you talking about?
Never mind. And he'll,
He'll look at you in total confusion.
yeah.
So what just happened?
Hopefully the guy isn't absolutely like hangover as crazy. Is the hope there?
Well, yeah, he does feel better, but he's just literally just woke up
Yeah,
with your hand on his shoulder, like what is going on?
all good. And he'll sit at the bar, waiting for people to come down.
Yeah. Is anyone as you're waiting there? You'd say the kitchen is busy. There's bread being baked, and as you wait, you begin to see it get loaded up on like into big baskets and stuff. Just like servants there, stuff that were loading up a lot of basically baked food into these baskets.
I'm actually gonna go up. Okay, noticing the food, I'm gonna get up and go up to the bar or whatever to order. And do you guys serve meals, breakfasts here?
Yes, of course. The kitchen has been open for a few minutes now. What would you like?
Could I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Can I get 6 meals on this table right here? If you don't mind.
Just whatever. Just eggs and pork.
Perfect.
Excellent. 6 meals.
Thank
Whatever
you.
you got.
Thank you very much. And he'll slap some coin there, whatever it is. Or if it's...
He will take the coin.
Okay. I'll give him 2 gold for it. I don't know.
He doesn't say anything. He just takes the money.
Great. It'll pass back. There's party inventory on D&D Beyond. That's kind of cool.
They just added that.
Anyways, sorry. Okay, continue.
Stairs creaking, coming down. Olvar.
Smelled food. Funny you picked this this part of it to have the breakfast, but
And he's walking down the stairs, steaming cup of coffee in like an earth mug, just kind of sipping it.
Is there a different? Is there a different restaurant or place to eat?
I was up.
The
right a
third
little
floor
bit
has like a
upstairs.
full think like hotel breakfast, like top
Oh.
notch, like embassy.
Did you want? Here,
thing.
I'll help you carry it up.
And I
Okay.
put like 4 of them on one arm.
This is back in the day. I used to work at a tavern. Yeah,
I'll carry the
most
last
of the other
two.
hobgoblins didn't want it, but
I'll carry the
I cut
last
up
2.
steaming. Under his armpit, which he had in his hand, is this like kind of faded leather blue spellbook journal looking thing. It just says Thunder Playbook on it in like AC/DC style font. He just kind of got it under there, and starts like carrying it up and like sipping.
What do you got there in your shoulder? Or under your shoulder, I should say.
this is something I've been working on a little bit. I'll show you when we get up.
Okay.
And like we like get up there, place all the things on it. Very like common, I feel like, for Clayton and Olvar to be up initially in the party. So there's nothing terribly new.
There's something new I've been working on. See, so with Coles and I want to, keep everything, try and teach the boy a little bit while we're out and adventuring. And, yeah, with his magic and all that. So I'm like opening it up, and it has like list of spells, both Olvar's and the ones that Coulson knows. They're like in various pages, and then he flips to like about midway through, and it has a series of like different, basically like drills. They're like different move sets of like Coulson does this, Olvar does that. We've just been I don't know. I thought it'd be kind of fun. We've been working on it a little bit together. Just a couple ways that we could, we could help each other if a fight ever breaks out, or trying to help him learn to use his power well. And well, it's fun.
How's he doing with his powers? Is he as chaotic or very like how's he compared like what does he do? I guess I've never seen him in action very much.
Yeah, I mean, maybe mentioned a few times. I think back in our, a few years ago, but he had trouble controlling his powers initially, and I think it was probably a puberty thing, honestly. But but now I think really coming around to it. Honestly, I think he's kind of swung the other way of the pendulum. He's very he takes direction very seriously, which I appreciate, especially in such tough encounters like combat can be, or other forms of conflict. So he's a very organized young man. I think he's coming along very nicely. So it's impressive. He's certainly already his magical capacity. I don't know what was in these genes here, but me and his mother really, just created some kind of magical beast. Really, he's far surpassed my own abilities at this point. Quite impressive. I'm proud of the boy.
Talking about things to do. Something that I want to I do, and he'll explain to you. I don't know if you're familiar with the spell. You're familiar with the spell called
Tell me about it.
Insight Greed. So I have a spell that is able to I can focus people and force them to come to a certain point. It's like what happens is it's a beacon, and they're like it's like flies on moths on a lantern. They kind of gravitate towards it. Maybe that might be useful, potentially. Something to keep in mind.
Fascinating. It's great.
Nice.
I think we fall into.
Well, go ahead. You go ahead.
I just think we fall into comfortable silence. Just sipping my little coffee, making a couple notes, and waiting for everybody to wake up.
It's an overcast day. Looks like you've heard news of that there might be a front coming in the next few days. So it's sort of a gray sunlight beginning to filter through the windows. Servants coming to sort of throw back the shades and that sort of stuff, the curtains. As a natural light begins to filter into these very well. There's big windows in these upper levels, so it's a very nice place. And slowly the establishment starts to come to life around you. You can hear the kitchen really start to get going. The clanging of pots and utensils and that sort of stuff, and the smell of frying bacon, all that sort of stuff. As that you were watching as the buffet slowly gets set up. They bring out the whole nine, biscuits and sausages and potato, all the stuff that you would think of a hearty medieval breakfast of a good quality. Eventually, well, when do you Jacob and Misha, are you guys late sleepers? You guys met at a late night?
I'm just a late sleeper in general.
Me too, Dan. Me too.
As it gets to 7, 8 o'clock, breakfast is going. As soon as you could guys hear it, the town bells for local churchmen are started gong. It's 8 o'clock. You guys can hear a commotion outside. Not like anything violent or anything, but as several horses and carts pulling up outside the tavern, and you can see that from the windows, from the balcony, you guys can see down that 3 horse-drawn wagons have pulled up and are being loaded with bread that Clayton, you would have noticed being brought out of the big kitchen downstairs. And a diminutive little a woman appears to step into the front door. And is one of the only other people moving around downstairs. You can see, you can hear her footsteps sort of echoing through the from the steps. At that, you'll see Seamus in what appears to be a plaid bathrobe. There's a kilt, but it just goes all the way up. There's just like his hair, his red hair. I guess he's got a. Never mind. No, he doesn't have a hairy chest. But he comes down in furry slippers, a whole 9 yards, with a mug of coffee himself. And he just sort of pads down the steps from the 4th floor. Trello, looking prim and proper as ever, sort of stepping behind. He'll come down, sort of do the stretch, fart aggressively, and come in. I sort of give you a literally. Give you guys a sort of a sleepy, half awake greeting, and go to the buffet and just start loading.
Sheriff, what's this bread for exactly?
The bread. Oh, the bread. People need feeding. The farms aren't exactly bringing in abundant harvests right now.
Have I seen bread, like, as I'm working, like, as I've been around the poor areas, have I seen bread?
Yeah, I mean, there's no history check needed. You know there's basically a grain dole going on. Like, there's with the collapse of order, the government, like the actual city itself, has been trying to keep people fed. But there's been a lot of basically profiteering and smuggling and crime and robbery, which means that food is getting harder and harder to come by in the city. And you would also know that Seamus and the Gilded Legion have been handing out bread.
Gotcha. Okay. Was that...
You may not have known that, but like you definitely would have clocked like Gilded
Okay.
Legion.
Okay. Not necessarily...
stalls.
Yeah, not necessarily... Like, I've seen the bread come out. I haven't... Not necessarily knowing that Seamus was the source of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you might sometimes you see like a tent handing out, like a stall handing out bread. Maybe there might be a guard there, like a Gilded Legion guard. Sometimes they're city guards, sometimes they're Gilded Legion. So you might not know exactly what it is, but you would remember that for sure.
Okay.
It is at this point that a woman comes upstairs. She's rather short, maybe 5'4". Not a big woman, very pretty, sort of brown shoulder-length hair, sort of tied back in a ponytail. Very plain clothes, and she'll come up and just wait at the top of the stairs, sort of just try to get attention politely. Seamus will look over his shoulder from as he's loading up meat onto his plate. Oh, there she is, Trello. You know the arrangement. And Trello will go to her and out of his coat hand her a stack of gold coins. And they'll exchange words that you guys can't, unless you want to try and eavesdrop. They're across the room, you won't necessarily be able to hear them. and she'll sort of give a smile and head back down the stairs.
Is she the one who hands out the bread?
Yes, she works for the churches around here. She's a known figure. Lovely lass. Brandy, is that right? Yeah, Brandy. Yeah, I should know that. Yeah, she handles distribution for. She's ahead of the relief work. She's a hard person not to like, I would say.
Seamus, don't mean this to be a harsh question, but are you feeling yesterday's festivities?
I feel fine. I just woke up.
Alright.
Never felt better.
Okay.
Are you feeling all right? Both of you? Did you be a
I slept wonderfully.
excellent? Good to hear.
Me as well. Our friends are
And
sleeping
you-
too long, though.
Good, excellent.
I'm
Where are
out.
the other two? I suppose I saw Jacob downstairs. He made quite a name for himself.
Seems about right.
Meshach, does he need his beauty rest, or what's going on? The day that
I
we're losing
presume.
daylight.
I think I went.
There's a city to
I think
save.
I went to bed before him, actually, but I might go see if I can wake them up.
That would be
I'm
good.
gonna walk
That would be
over.
good. Before you, have you
Some
thought
town.
more on the contract?
We have a couple errands to run, and then I think we will have a decision.
Very well. I hope to see you again.
Thank
And
you.
he'll pad back up the stairs with a truly atrocious amount of food.
I'll bang a couple on each of y'all's doors. See if I can wake you up.
You knock on Meshach's door and there's just silence.
Meshach? Me? Oh, all right. Good morning.
Oh,
Good
boy.
morning. Good morning. Work
Shut
sometimes.
up, you are so off key.
Well, every time you'll have to give me some lessons, but I think it's about time we go see our other offer, if you're willing.
5 more minutes?
You better be ready.
Move off.
Give me 5. I'll be down.
Jacob.
Oh, good morning. It was certainly a
Good
good
morning.
night.
Well, I'm glad I heard.
The door in front of you flies open, and Jacob is grinning ear to ear, visibly groggy, half clothed, and
Which half?
says,
In front of your
Which
nose.
half?
His left side.
His left side.
In front of your face, Olvar is holding a steaming cup of coffee in one hand and just like the most Bloody Mary you've ever seen in your entire life in the other.
I have your order for the morning.
you know me so well.
2 extra shrimp,
Oh,
just like
yeah.
you usually like them.
Tom, roll me a history check.
Yeah. That's only a 5.
You have got a bright shiner on the right side of your face, and you have no idea how you got that thing.
You said bright shiner?
You got a big black eye on the
Big
side
black
of
eye.
your face, and you have, for the life of you, you can feel it hurting. You do have no idea how you got that.
I'm
You
sorry.
look,
I have a big. I'm so sorry.
You have a
Bruce.
massive black eye,
Black eye. Awesome.
and you have no idea how you got it.
Great.
Looks like you'll have another scar to talk about if that sticks around for tonight.
Well, I fear this one has no story at all.
A drink then.
Someone may know it. Right. Well,
I think we're gonna
no
head out
story
to.
to speak of. It can, I suppose, be any story I please.
It's true. I think we're gonna head out soon.
I suppose we're off to.
Bye.
Well, I'll be clothed in a moment. And
Take 5.
he retreats
Take 5
back
back.
into his room. Gets ready.
Mac is just in his room. Or, Mac, wow. Oopsie.
Oh boy.
Meshach is just in his room, casting prestidigitation to clean his clothes.
Nice.
It won't come out.
But Mac begins to head downstairs after he is, and he's got like he's definitely like a morning and groggy eyes, but like is pretty with it. Gives like a big like a. What's for breakfast?
Also, a cup of coffee ready.
He takes
Can't
a cup
remember
of
if you like
coffee.
sugar or not, but
Well, I'm moving away. I'm more of a black guy now. Not out of taste, but more budget.
it grows on you. After living with about 5 years post leaving our clan, I mean that's really all we had. It was just what do they call it? Fulgiers. Coffee grand. Yeah.
Years.
Fulgiers. Yeah. Something else.
Sounds like
This is the best part. This is the best part of waking up so far this morning. So.
the minds are ran by it.
Blake,
Yes.
is that NPC still here, or no?
She is not. If you're still on the third floor, she went back downstairs. You have no idea.
Okay, great. No problem. No problem. I'm just asking. You laughing at him?
I do recount some of the happenings of the morning as you guys are coming down. Of like, oh, Seamus came down, was talking. Also, they give out bread, so that's kind of fun. So you get the lowdown.
The bread carts are still being loaded up outside. You can hear that activity, that sort of stuff.
By the
Tell me,
time
where's the church?
by the time people are downstairs, Clayton is helping to load the bread, if allowed.
Huh?
If allowed, Clayton is going to see if he can help load up the bread and talk about like making sure like, okay, there's a family district in this area that they really need the help, and like there's another family here in this area. Like he's giving them. They already probably know about all these places and everything. But
it's a collection of commoners and the one lady who seems to be a sort of in charge of the effort, and then a few of the Guild of Legion are there hauling some of the bigger boxes and stuff. One of like, we don't distribute directly to homes. That's too much of an undertaking. We bring them to the distribution points. Then whoever comes to us, they get a daily ration. Is how this works.
Understand. Just
we
make
don't have
sure.
the people who go to the homes or individual.
Well, make sure the dwarves over on 6th Street. Make sure you have some gluten-free stuff over there, because they're not the great.
Gluten-free bread.
Never.
What is gluten?
Oh well, okay. No, it's. They're quite sensitive.
Very well. We have potato bread, if that's better.
There we go.
They're welcome to come and get some. But yeah.
Potato bread.
They'll gladly help you. I mean, if you come and ask and aren't weird, they'll absolutely yeah, sure, come.
He's staying in the area, like, but he's helping uploading, taking carts, whatever, putting in where they need to be before it leaves, that kind of thing. All right.
Is it possible
man is
for is it possible for Mishak to walk past that cart and take a loaf of bread for himself and eat it?
Roll a sleight of hand check.
I'm not particularly stealthy in this at all.
Oh, you're just trying to do it?
Yeah, I'm just gonna do it.
Oh, as soon as you do that, one of the workers. So that's we have a ration. You can come to the point just like everyone else. Put that back.
He Mishak throws one of his flyers at him and says, "I'm a starving artist."
Sir, you can't do that. Put it back. And he's a dwarf. He'll sort of step up to you a little bit.
I'm gonna put my hand in front of him, saying, "He is part of the poor," and then kind of.
So, Brandy, what? And he'll yell for the lady in charge, and this lady will come, sort of walking swiftly over, and come up. Is there a problem here?
This is
He's stealing bread.
this is Brandy.
Yes.
Yes, great.
Yes, this is Brandy. She comes up and asks what's going on.
So Mishak is like sort of is walking away, and when the lady Brandy is called out, Mishak is going to turn around to face the conundrum of people, and when he turns around, he catches eyes with Brandy, and she's like the most beautiful woman he's ever seen, and he's like sort of like just starstruck, and he's like there's like daydreaming and like of like her flipping her, like pulling the bun out and flipping her hair back. And Mishak is just like literally dumbfounded by the beauty of her, and he pushes his hair back, or he throws the bread up, pushes his hair back, catches it, and approaches her, and he goes, "No, there was a mistake. One of my friends down the street, he's poor, and I was merely just gonna go give it to him. I do this fairly regularly."
Deception check.
Where's that low roll?
No. I cannot have a low roll here, guys. Come on.
We're a bard. There's no way.
You said deception or persuasion?
This is obviously a lie, so deception.
That's an 11.
She's got an 18 on insight. Right. Well, as you hopefully know, you're the one on the posters, yes? The musician?
What? Yes.
Yeah, so you've been from around here, and you know bread is only brought to the distribution points. So I'd like you to place that back, please, and I'd hate to have to call the guard. As the city like this, right now, this is the last thing we need to be doing.
You're right. Forgive me. What is your name?
My name is Brandy.
Well, it is Miss Brandy, right?
Yes.
Well, Miss Brandy, It is a mistake of mine. I do apologize. We are. You see, I was an adventuring hero, really, near Silver Moon Yartar, and recently I just have had the itch to help more people, and sometimes my naivete is sometimes I'm a little too quick to action, per se. And so my apologies, and he'll toss the bread over to Clayton and he says, Clayton, double my donation for this month.
Yes, sir. Double from 0.
He's clearly not impressed.
Here,
Right. It was nice to meet you. I know your stage name is Me.
Mishek. The name is Mishek,
Mishek. It was
like from the Bible. Good man he was.
right. Very good. Yes. Well, Mishek, it was a pleasure to meet you. And yes, and she'll nod and step by you.
Mishek is gonna watch her walk away for like 2 seconds and just like and turn around and start walking the other way. He's gonna take a deep breath. And he's gonna start walking away.
Good try.
And he's gonna be like, he's got a little bit of pep in his step. He's like, I think that went well.
meanwhile, I imagine Jacob and Olvar just standing at the doorway, just hackling.
and Clayton, being the absolute worst wingman, just goes, nice try. But like notices that you are like positive about it, so he's like
That's so funny. Okay. Okay.
Mishak, as Jacob waves you over, and you too, Clayton, like just to kind of get the group back together. Your taste in women has improved since last night.
Oh, she's a little less evil looking, right? She's a human, right?
Yes. She's a short human, very pretty, short blonde hair, brown hair, rather tan, wearing just a standard like commoner like dress and a apron, like a leather apron on the front. Not dressed in any particularly like standout way, but just stands out for sure.
Love it. Yes. Well, she is less of a, what do the kids say, a girl boss than what was the tiefling's name from last night?
Zamora.
Zamora. Yes. Zamora was never my type, anyways. She's far too devilish looking.
you don't want too much of a good thing then.
Right. Yeah. Too much of a good thing. We'd be incompatible, anyways.
No. Well, are we off to do some chores then?
Yes, quite.
Gentlemen. And he'll walk towards City Hall then? Correct?
Yep. So the 3 carts will the workers and Brandy and 1 Gilded Legion guard will get on each cart as they sort of trundle off down the street around the corner, leave you guys alone off to go to City Hall. The city is safest in the morning. There's some bare semblance of regular life, as people still need to buy things and people still need to live the lives that people live, or at least try their best. So the guards are a little bit sparser. You'll see occasionally see like children playing in an alleyway or that sort of stuff. But you never see anyone walking alone. Um, and you guys are able to make your way up. I don't know if you guys have seen Art of Waterdeep, but most of the government buildings are so it's got the outside on the coast. It's on the coast. Then you have the outside walls and the city, and then there's a hill on the coast with the primary keep and government buildings and stuff, and a secondary wall there, sort of fortified citadel in the middle in the center.
As we're walking towards the downtown city hall and everything, you guys can see Mishek like trying to fix the sleeves, like pulling down the sleeves on his suit jacket, as if this was bought a few years ago when he was just a little shorter. It doesn't quite fit him right, but he's dressed in like very, very standard, like again, perfectly like political attire, suit, jacket, tie, the whole 9 yards. Very stark juxtaposition to his red skin and horns that cover his head.
Excellent. If there's nothing else, you guys will make it up to the I guess it'd be the council hall really, without any major mishaps. You guys there will be you'll pass for a number of like preachers. There's like some sort of doomsday, the end is nigh sort of figures out there. Terrell, or actually not El Terrell, Helm's Hold, and beggars and all that sort of stuff too. A variety of different religions. There's a few Catholics, even Catholic priests out there, like your spiders, you're dangling on a spider's thread over the fires of hell, sort of stuff. But you guys will make it up to the Grand Plaza, up like partway up the hill. Not too far because Seamus's tavern is pretty close there, anyways. And you'll see the castle of Waterdeep sprawling on top of this small mountain, really. And the council hall sort of juts out into the main square. This is like, think really, really big area, like red square sort of size, like really big plaza. Markets mostly empty, large fountains. The architecture of this council hall is almost like a train station, like big vaulted ceilings, big open area, a few big pillars and stuff. Some large skylights and stuff, and big doors open, and city guard are everywhere. You've never seen as many city guard as you have in. You see the city watch, more the police, and like with their bludgeons and stuff, policing a lot. You don't see a lot of city guard, the actual military, out in the city streets, but you see them concentrated here. But you guys are able to come up the main massive steps going up towards the council hall and enter. And as I said, think just like big old fashioned like early 1900s train station, big open stone building, lines of people going towards desks. This is a very bureaucratic place. Lots of queues and lines and petitions and just. Yeah.
Mr. DM, sir, would I happen to have possible credentials to get into the place, or would I have probably had given those up?
I don't know. Would you have tried to steal some sort of badge or something? That's up to you.
It was more of a I just stopped showing up kind of thing. So I imagine that I still have it, but maybe the updated
And
new
you
ones.
might have an
like
old seal or signet of kind of this particular faction.
Great.
Within the Zentarum.
Great. I want to like sort of go up, like I want to walk alongside of the long line to get into the city hall, and I'm gonna show the guard, and I say, excuse me, to the person who's next in line, at the very, very front. I say, excuse me, here's and I flash him the badge that I have from Kenneth Kennedy's sect of the Zentarum.
So the Zentarum are not. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're not still like open. Like, yes, we are Zentarum. They're still sort of secretive about things, aren't they? Like, does Seamus would Kenneth Kennedy advertise openly that he's part of the Zentarum? Because I was under the impression that is not the case.
No, I don't think so.
And so this would be as particular, not
So-
as Terran badge.
It's right. Yeah, it's not a Zentara badge, but it's whatever badge for Kenneth Kennedy's faction that he claims to be running.
But he works. So you wouldn't have. So the only thing you'd have from him would be from Terra, because
Okay.
he's only been a newly elected lord here in Waterdeep like the past 2 years, which have been since
Okay.
you before
Great. Oh,
or
and-
after you left.
Great.
So you might have Zentara
Okay,
stuff, but
then
not Waterdeep stuff.
Let's rewind that. We're right in the back of the line.
Great. The line goes on for like you see like an hour wait. But you guys notice. Well, everyone, roll me a perception check. Anyone who cares to be looking around.
I just rolled a net 20.
Okay, you see, and you think this. Okay, well, you don't notice anything in particular, Olvar.
I'm nearsighted.
That's why he needs the glasses. That's so funny.
But Meshach, for sure, you can see there's like multiple like sort of arched doorways in the back, large enough you could bring a carriage to easily, and a few smaller ones. In one of the smaller, it's like man-sized doorways at the back of the hall, behind all the booths and that sort of stuff, the secretarial parts, you can see a hulking dragonborn figure that you could identify, Boros the Blunt.
I say, boys, follow me. Follow me. And we walk towards Boros the Blunt. And he immediately casts disguise self on him to his performance attire from what he was wearing last night. And he walks up to Boros and says,
So you'd have to get through like the desks and stuff.
okay.
So you'd be like sort of like crossing. Like,
Can I say, excuse me? We I know that man in there. Can you get him for?
You're maybe
he'll let
20
us
feet
in.
away from him, and he is clearly leaning against the wall, sound asleep.
I want to. It's gonna be pretty darn obvious, but I think I'm going to. I am going to cast thaumaturgy. And have like a little bit of force, like push him over, just like touch, as if like someone like need him to like wake him up. And I'm gonna see if he wakes up from that.
He wasn't asleep. He was still keeping himself late stuff. He'll get nudged. Whoa.
Yoo-hoo, Boris.
And he'll shake himself up. His mace is at his side, shield on his back, still in his armor, and he'll approach, come up to some of the guards guarding. Think like this is like a TSA check sort of thing.
I say, Boris, were you sleeping on the job?
I never sleep on the job.
Well, it's a good thing you woke up just in time for us to arrive.
I was already awake.
There.
Well, don't touch me.
We're here to see Kenneth Kennedy.
Yes, of course. Did you go see Seamus?
We received an offer, yes.
Excellent. Kenneth will clear the schedule for you. Very good. Follow me. And he will. He's a big lad. And he will turn, and he's lumberback. And you would remember from your limited interaction with him, Boros the Blunt is dumb as rocks. But that's sort of his what makes him useful is he's dumb as rocks, but he's honest to a fault and loyal to a fault. So he'll sort of lumber back through, like sort of Canadian, like, oh, excuse me. Doesn't realize how large he is, sort of sliding by people in the hallways as he leads you back. Through a winding series of stairways and hallways and stuff. You going up quite a bit until eventually you guys find yourself outside these big polished wooden doors, and he'll pull one open, and you will see basically think like an overseer's overlook that's looking down on the main chamber of the council hall. You're in Kenneth Kennedy's office. You can see through his big arched windows, look down on the big chamber, and he's you see this diminutive halfling figure standing there, arms behind his back, looking down on all the hustle and bustle down below. And he will sit there and wait for you guys to come in and not say anything.
Mishak takes a deep breath before he walks into that room.
Before we get that, Thomas, just to catch you up, it is obviously the next day. They all had a great time at the Sentinel's Rest, drinking and all that hullabaloo. We're now at the council hall of Waterdeep, meeting Kenneth Kennedy, obviously. We have just been brought into his office.
More importantly,
we forgot the part where Mishak met the love of his life.
Mishak got the coldest shoulder you've ever seen.
No, it was a good first impression.
more
Wasn't stealing
importantly,
bread, so it's there.
yeah.
Just go back and watch the scene over. It's really funny.
All right.
Did you save the day, Thomas?
In a way, but not entirely.
That's all right.
How bad is it?
Well, it's not the battery or the alternator that's the problem, but it's probably something else. Luckily, the Aldi that she was at is across the street from a auto shop.
Oh, sweet.
Okay.
So we just literally pushed it over.
Nice.
Basically, we figured out it's something to do with the fuel not getting properly to the engine, because like the only way to get it started is to like rev the engine while you're starting it, and then it still will die eventually, but it's like
Interesting.
kind of shuddery. So it's like
Fuel pump,
we
maybe.
basically
Weird.
so it's like it's probably the fuel pump.
Woof.
Tough.
Yeah, so they're checking it out. They're gonna get back to us tomorrow. It was like 30 minutes before they closed.
Oh, tough.
They're like, luckily it's a free inspection place, so they'll just look at it
Oh,
for free
sweet.
That'd be nice.
and
Thanks,
then
God.
tell us
That's huge.
what if they want to do stuff.
Yes. Oh well, I guess
Hoorah.
Blake is gone. There you go.
But did you all sign with Seamus or anything?
No,
No, not yet.
no, we're gonna
That's
see what the
good.
other side is first, and then we're gonna go from there.
Dude, I do not trust that Mr. What is it, White Scalp or whatever.
White Scalp?
I don't trust that guy. Gut feeling.
I like him. That contract had nothing wrong with it. Nothing at all. It was the most beautiful contract that ever.
There's beautiful
made in a
contract.
It's actually like we'll call it the big beautiful contract. It's so beautiful. It's so big.
Pretty good.
The big beautiful contract.
The BBC. Big beautiful contract.
Big beautiful contract. Before the birth of Christ, there was the big beautiful contract.
The world went
Anyway,
into
so
bloom.
we're gonna go in and meet Kenneth Kennedy. He's gonna be my best friend at the end of this.
We need to get a Trump soundboard.
Put that on the
wrong.
to-do list.
You're fired.
Run.
Wrong.
Wrong.
So there you guys are in Kenneth Kennedy's office.
Yeah.
Boros the Blunt is there holding the door open. You can see his diminutive little silhouette in the brightly lit window. It's think of very fancy Baroque, lots of polished wood, like leather chairs, that sort of stuff. There's like a globe, like a fancy globe bar to the right, and his big desk in the center. The whole 9 yards.
I suppose I'm taking the lead on this one, boys.
Oh,
You got this, son.
I walk further into the room and just say, how long has it been?
4 years, 3
Who's
days.
that speaking?
It's really been that long since you don't remember my voice.
Oh, I remember. I just want to hear.
It's Misha, Kenneth. It's good to see you.
Is it?
I think it is.
Suppose distance does make the heart grow fonder. It's been 2 years, 342 days since we never heard a thing from you. They'll spin around. Meshek.
He's like, I'm doing one of these.
Meshek's stature shrinks a little bit. His tail goes between his legs a little too, and
You see a slight smirk pop up on Louis's face as this happens.
Meshek, after like initially like shrinking and putting the tail between his legs, he re-stands up, shoulders back, tail up, and says, "You are right. It has been that long, and the heart does grow fonder. I have missed you."
Ah, speak for yourself. You must be his brother, Louis.
Yes.
He mentioned you occasionally. I actually rather spoke rather highly of you. He comes up. He paces very
That's
quickly, very authoritative, like sort of stand. You stand up.
I never hear any of that, but
He'll introduce you.
Yeah.
Yes. And you, with the club, Hobgoblin. What's your name?
Olvar, at your service.
Olvar Kenneth Kennedy, Lord of Waterdeep, and you with the heavy armor shield, tall one, Earthman.
Clayton.
I look back and forth between Clayton and I say, call me Jacob.
Yes, Jacob, and you as well. Good to meet you.
I think you
Pleasure
said.
to make all your acquaintance.
I think you
I
said
hope Boros
Earth
Blunt. I'm sorry. What did you say?
I thought you said Earth person. Anyways, continue.
I did. It's a pleasure to meet you all. Have you all eaten breakfast?
Yes.
Hi.
Excellent.
No, do you have any bread?
We could get you some.
That would be fantastic. The cinnamon one that I always liked.
Very well.
Whole grain coming up.
Very well. Octavian, would you get that? And as you guys came up, you would have a secretary and a desk outside.
Kenneth, I can't imagine that you haven't missed me that much, considering you sent me your bodyguard to come fetch me and my friends. You missed me a little, admit it.
Boros the Blunt is good at getting things done. If I wanted you to come peaceably, I would not have sent someone like him.
And why is it that you have wanted to see us?
First off, I must know, did any of you signed anything that Seamus has offered you?
Not yet.
We have not yet, but we have been offered.
It sounds like you two were good friends, or are good friends, I should say, so what gives?
He said we were friends.
He did?
I'd gut him and hang him from hooks like a fish given the opportunity. That's more than he deserves.
Why are you so frustrated with him?
Because he's a warmonger and a brute
Fair
who
enough.
cares nothing for the rule of law.
I agree that he's a brute.
He's up to something. He's up to something. Misha,
What is he up to? Yes.
before I get to that, do all of these, does the rest of your group here know of your prior acquaintances, your prior connections? May I speak plainly with them?
He looks over his shoulder at Louis. He nods his head. Sure.
Very well. I suppose I have nothing to lose, because if any of you prove to be a problem, then that's what Boros the Blunt is for. I'm a member of the Zentarum. I'm an organization you all, I'm sure, have heard whispers and rumors of. Much of what you've heard is true. We are a shadowy organization working in the backgrounds, pulling strings, shaping the world as we desire it. What you might not know is that we are a very different Zentarum than that is the origin of most of these rumors. The stability of the realm is our greatest desire. Peace and prosperity is our greatest desire. What is happening in Washington is
I'm
not
just gonna listen to them.
is not peace or prosperity. The Gilded Legion, Seamus, is nominally still part of the organization, but he has not been Zentarum for some years now, in any real way. He's splintered off, he's doing his own thing, we know not this, but we have ideas. I had agents in Helm's Hold before they disappeared. There were Gilded Legion there. Seamus was funding the construction of some sort of statue in the center of Helm's Hold.
In the center of Helm's Hold? He told us there was a void. There's no center. It's a...
Before it disappeared, Seamus was funding some triumphant statue of a triumphant warrior in one of the main plazas of Helm's Hold. He had men there, he had agents there. I had men there, and I had agents there, until it went dark. What we do know is something infernal occurred there. There were demons. That's the only clear evidence I had. Because that's the only thing, the one agent I had that I could trust could tell me clearly before all contact was severed.
You said that there was demons that were in Helm's Hold.
Excuse me, devils.
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 I'm afraid those two words are about interchangeable for me.
Don't worry, Oliver. I'll tell you the story later.
Oh,
Thank
you. I never studied demonology.
Of course, it is a niche subject, but it is about, I fear, to become very relevant. And now, Seamus is here. The same problems, the same cults and uprisings and crime, that is same pattern that has happened in Helm's Hold prior to its disappearance has happened here, and now Seamus appears here as well to keep the peace. I know he's up to something, but I don't know what.
Kenneth, do we know if Seamus is building anything in the center of Waterdeep?
Not that I'm aware of. That's the thing. I know nothing. His men do not say a thing. They are loyal to a fault. And the people, we are losing the people. We are. I will not. I'm not a prideful man. I know that we are failing at our job. The city guard is overworked. We cannot feed all the people. We cannot keep crime off the streets. He has stepped into that gap and he is exploiting it. He is becoming increasingly popular. And the will of the people might be their downfall if things go on at their current rate. But I have no solution. I have no solution.
So what you're saying, and what I hear you saying, Kenneth, is that Seamus, things are going poorly in Waterdeep. Seamus is aiding the efforts of the people. His humanitarian aid is winning him popular votes and popular opinions among the people of Waterdeep. Is that correct?
He is succeeding where we are failing. That is certainly the case. It is easy for him. The burden of responsibility is on us, the legitimate government of the city, and we are failing. It is easy for him to step in and fill that gap with resources like he.
You said that there is a reason, like a person or a group, that is behind the chaos. Do you know anything about that?
As best we can tell, they are truly unrelated. They are actually unrelated from the Gilded Legion because they are killing Gilded Legion men and Gilded. It originally began, as best we know, about 2 months ago. Immediately after the fall of Helm's Hold, a rampant spike in crime, criminal syndicates acting with impunity, but there's a twist. There are cults. And they quickly absorbed these groups of ne'er-do-wells, and it became something altogether more insidious than mere profiteering and crime.
Well, we just interacted with the Blood God cult, if you've ever heard of that.
They appear to be. One cult is consolidating power, and their aims are mysterious apart from, as best we can tell, wanton bloodshed and slaughter. They do not steal riches, they only arm themselves and shed blood. That seems to be the end goal of their whatever they might be trying to accomplish.
So what do you want with us?
That is the question. I need 2 things done that I am presently unable to accomplish. Even my own agents are overworked. I need enterprising and skilled men, such as yourselves, to do 2 things. The first is to discover the root of these cults and cut the head off the snake. The second is to infiltrate Seamus's organization in whatever way you see fit and tell me what he's doing. I trust him no further than I could throw him.
Well, we can potentially do that if we signed his contract.
That is one more thing. If you could... I would very much like a copy of that contract.
That would be difficult.
I know. All that being said, I'm sure I do not have quite the resources at my disposal as my esteemed counterpart, but I will be able to fund your expenses and reward you quite well.
That's what he is providing for us on the contract. What are like anything else? Items?
I do not have vast armories of weapons like he does. I have a fair amount of gold and a few artifacts that I may be willing to part with for a job well done.
Hmm.
My power is much more in people.
If we are interested in wealth, to the detriment of other things, we would be better off with Seamus anyhow. I don't think that's what we are about.
Well, that is good to hear. The city needs that.
How do you know?
Is there a way
what-
to invalidate this contract should we sign it in a governmental sense?
There was the clause of negation, which is also in the general
Understood. But you want if you want that that organization to be infiltrated, essentially we'd have to sign the contract.
Get in.
But there's like severe consequences for that, isn't there?
We
I have
would
not-
likely be killed at any sign of betrayal. And I doubt it would be a fun death.
Is there a possibility to keep the crew protected a little bit better? I'll need some resources to be able to do that. Mainly some diamonds, some useful materials. Would it be possible to
Right.
get some?
What do you want to do?
I don't know, resurrect people?
Adam, I see what you're doing.
Yes,
About 300 would do.
come back. You must understand, I'm a practical man, and I want to trust you, but you are all new acquaintances. And you do have a good reputation, but I'd like for you to have some skin in the game before I start pouring gold down this particular hole.
If we say yes, that might be something where we start with cultists first and maybe go from
Regardless.
there.
If we infiltrate, are you simply asking us to work with Seamus's organization until we have sufficient knowledge to report back to you?
Whatever you see fit, I will take any information I can, but the Gilded Legion is seemingly, usually a well-placed bribe gets you a lot of information, but his men are, as I said, loyal to a fault. It's been a tough nut to crack, and I'm very good at cracking nuts.
Perhaps a moment to discuss.
Hmm.
That might be good.
Is there? Do we
Yes.
need to sign anything? Is there a contract with you? Is it word of mouth? What is us simply saying yes? It for you?
You saying yes would be your action, fulfilling that yes.
Understood.
Then
Kenneth.
yes.
As a possible reparation for my absence in your life, it would not be the worst idea for us to investigate Mr. Seamus's endeavors. Yeah. I've grown fond of his people. He's not so bad himself. The people who work in and near him are pleasant. So I'm sure we can fit in. We have enough brutes that get along with Seamus just fine.
That is good to hear. If we are committed to this, I will give you a lead. There's a shipment, an arms shipment coming in via ship to the harbor. Tomorrow, sometime tonight, we don't know exactly when. But we've spied the ship coming down, and we know it's one of his. And the only thing, presumably, he would be shipping is arms. There's no shortage of arms already in the city. So we don't know what exactly, that begs a question of why exactly he's doing this, or what is really on the ship. The city's been on lockdown for quite some time, but he's effectively as powerful as any of the lords and can do as he pleases. If you might investigate this ship to the harbor tomorrow night. I suspect it might prove enlightening.
That's a good lead. Thank
If
you
we
for...
agree, are there any further questions?
I think the questions honestly would be between the group here. Thank you for your time.
Of course, I hope to see you again, all in one piece. Then, unless there's anything else, I have many matters to...
But Kenneth, I have a word with you in private.
Yes, you may. If you wouldn't mind.
Mm-hmm. Hey, we'll be outside.
How?
Do you want to go into side conversations, or are you fine doing?
No, I'd rather. This is more of a character moment than actual secrecy stuff. I have no secrets, guys. As they're walking out of the room, I don't even necessarily wait till they're fully out of the room, but just towards the door and everything like that, and like I kind of then say, "How bad is it?" Then, do they even remember who I am?
They know. They remember.
Is there any hope of... It's a silly question. It's good to see you, Kenneth. Anyway, and he walks out towards the rest of the group.
Come back in one piece.
As he's walking backwards, he like turns around to face you and does like a nice little bow, and then walks out.
Boros the Blunt is there leaning out in the hallway, again, sleeping.
I cast Thaumaturgy again to push him over. That's twice today, Boris.
I pull out from my pack a little like carafe, and I take a little tin cup, pour some coffee out from this morning.
Oh, thank you. Very much. He'll just down it all in one swig. Not really thinking about it. Not a lot of thought going through his head.
Careful, it's hot.
a little cough, a little bit of a tiny spew of like smoke will come out of his mouth. Thank you. Will you all be leaving?
Aye.
Very well. And he will escort you guys out the building, and the day is yours. It's been a few hours. It's maybe getting close, about noon at this point.
Perhaps we find a place to talk.
I know a place. And we're gonna go to where I slept. So I know that it's secure. On the way, Clayton is gonna actually look around to see if there's anyone spying on us. If it, like, after the conversation, it sounds like Kenneth.
This is you like travel through the city, you mean?
Yeah, I'm looking to see if there's any Guild Legion members kind of eyeing us down, or anyone's in the shadows, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and roll me a perception check.
Absolutely. I'm gonna guide myself here.
Hey, bro, I'll help you, bro.
You'll help me? All right.
Yeah. 1 sec. Let me look at this.
Oh yeah, you get to help me with a bonus action there, bud.
Yep.
Okay. I'll roll with an advantage if that's okay, Blake.
Absolutely.
Sure. All right. So I got a 24.
Okay. Let me hang on 1 second. Let me roll a dice here real quick.
My help for you, Clayton, is just me handing you my little spectacles. These are useful.
Why is your eyes so skinny?
Oh, it's not my eyes. It's just the glasses.
That's a crap roll. So as you're walking through the city, you at first for like several minutes you don't notice anything, but then you hear oh, sorry, I didn't see you there, and you hear and you can turn on and see. There's been a commotion. As it looks like two people have collided. Someone like a sort of a bigger, I don't know, just a bigger, what do you call them? I can't remember. Bugbear.
Bugbear.
With a big bugbear sort of merchant. He was knocked to drop all these jars of stuff, and it's on the ground. And you see a lithe sort of feminine figure, dashing away, from the scene.
Okay. Immediately, he's gonna go, Jacob. On our floor, there's a lady.
You want me to give chase?
If possible.
I'm going to turn into my big form. That's 45 feet of movement. And I'm going to haul it after who I presume to be Zamora.
You're going to turn into your big form?
And start charging through the city. This figure disappeared down an alleyway. She had a bit of a head start on you. And let's see how fast. They're gonna roll a natural 20 on acrobatics, and you're going to be able to turn the corner into this alleyway, which goes to a dead end. You're going to corner them to see them sort of Super Mario jumping from like wall to wall up the alleyway. This hooded figure, very gracefully disappear over the rooftop.
I call out after her, Zamora.
There's no response.
Well, it was worth a shot. I shrink back down, stroll out of the alley, and meet back up with the gang.
That's awesome.
That's dumb.
Uh,
Well,
Did you get a view of what she looked like?
Well, it
Make
was
me a
hard to
perce-
tell. But I
Make me a
think it was
perception
maybe-
check.
Oh, wait.
can I
It's
guide
a
him?
12.
I don't think I can guide.
Well, you're pretty confident it was a feminine figure. But other than that, dark robes, a lot, covered face, all the whole sort of spy thing. You can't really tell any defining traits about her. Then it's like, all right, clearly very agile woman with a very capable figure. And that's all you know.
If I'm honest, I saw few distinguishing features, if any. I think the safest assumption is the worst case scenario. That it was Zamora.
Not
Zamora.
necessarily
Okay,
surprising.
remind Adam who Zamora was. Zamora is.
The tiefling
Tiefling.
woman.
Oh,
Seamus is
yes.
teaching
Yeah.
lieutenant.
Well,
Yes.
Well,
let's get to a plan.
yeah,
Nothing to be done for it now. They know what they know.
yeah. All right. Well, there's an abandoned building over here. I know no one's inside. And
Yeah,
we'll
the
head there.
abandoned building is empty. It's all you.
All right. Once we get there, it's an abandoned building. There's nothing crazy.
How do we want to play this out?
Well, it sounds like we're either on our own, or we're signing the contract. To be with Kenneth Kennedy, we need to sign the contract.
To be either way, we're signing the
I
contract.
don't think so. Well, to gain information about Seamus's organization from within, we would need to do that.
It would be easier to.
Yes. I don't trust any of these people.
Mishak, you've known Kenneth for a while. What do you think of his offer, Demeter?
I'm a man of the people. I grew up in politics, and frankly, I side with Kenneth more than I side with Seamus. To Jacob's point, I think that the double crossing of Seamus will undoubtedly get us killed.
Agreed.
But that's not a repercussion that we have ever really shied away from, really.
Well, if the spy that we saw is the worst, there is no behind the scenes us looking into Lord Seamus's stuff. If we truly think that it was Zamora, we're screwed with how it even signed.
I am unconvinced that Zamora is a true ally to Seamus, any more than we are.
And what makes you say that, Jacob?
People of Guile are all the same. They have no allegiance.
Is there something that we want to say to her? I can do that.
I don't know.
Well,
I can send her a message
Hi.
if you would like.
You could try.
It's what to say.
I have an idea.
Go for it.
Maybe. What if only some of us sign the contract? Perhaps. Most obviously, maybe the ones who don't. Maybe the most vocal or most reactive to Seamus's personality. Meshach, Clayton. Could simply refuse and say they won't work for him. And we do the jobs all together. You'd probably have to find different accommodations, I suppose, but I would, for the sake of, whether or not, I still don't know what, perhaps Seamus was just in Helm's Deep for humanitarian aid, the same way that he is here, and maybe the statue has nothing to do with it, but perhaps it does, maybe he knows, maybe he doesn't, but it seems that there are much darker things at foot, and it would be good to investigate, but anyway, I would be fine with signing it. At the very least, if we all needed to, then my son wouldn't.
The same
I
thought.
think-
The same thought had crossed my mind. Perhaps a way of going about it would be the group that is hired on by Seamus simply hires on helping hands to do the work of that. We'd have to check the contract to make sure that doesn't void anything for your guys' own sake, but I see that as a potential smart move that both helps and aids Seamus and keeps on his good side while maintaining the contract and not violating it.
I would agree. There's
My
probably
thought would be
something
that
about.
those who sign-
There's probably something about sharing it with people, like sharing information without other people, like without people with contract. Da 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 da. But
Right.
that would be.
You can always read the
my
contract.
thought-
You can always read the contract.
we do nothing explicit. Those who have signed the contract will do nothing explicit that violates the rules.
Understood.
It is always hard when there are spies about, and one might be talking too loudly. I make quite a bit of noise. Jacob, you too?
Yes.
I don't think we're the sneaky crew, as
what
he
about
like
you?
tinks on his heavy armor.
This is one of my fears. We are, well, I do not have the gift of espionage, the knack, as it were.
Who- My brother does. I mean, my half brother does.
The large elephant is able to sneak around.
He's pretty
You-
fast.
You would be surprised.
Graham, you would not believe how silently that elephant can sneak around.
There is a thing called "there's an elephant in the room," like that's a phrase that you say when there's
And
something
what of it?
obvious
He
in the
must be a
room.
human one.
I do not see how this relates.
Right.
Well-
We'll yeah.
In any case, perhaps what might be best is I just don't think that all of us need to.
I agree.
And in that case, it would still put us all in danger, but as you said, Meshach, what's new? And we'll see what happens.
I don't. Now that I think of it, I do not know. I don't know that there is any difference between signing and not signing. All of our fates are sealed either way. If any of us sign the contract, then all of us will be killed. You know, if we get caught.
I just think
Unless
that
there is
perhaps the rules of the
unless they have
contract.
some magical means of ascertaining whether we did or did not defy the contract,
I
which
wouldn't
I
be
suppose
surprised.
might be possible. I see little difference.
I need
Yeah.
one of my characters to survive a campaign, and then I'm gonna make him yoked like that.
Yeah, dude, you die all the time, but at the end in like a really cool way, or in a really
Always
lame way
the
when
last
your
one
ally
least.
freaking disintegrates you at the end, your second character. Woof.
Now I disintegrates me. I got eaten by a dragon once.
Yeah,
What
I feel
happened?
like
I got murked by a lich too. That did happen.
there's like some stereotypes of campaign endings for everybody. We can explore that a little bit. Like Thomas, all your characters die. Owens, it's like always disappears into some unknown region of the world doing crazy crap.
Mhm.
Causing many problems.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like just some weird like, if you did a whole campaign over this, it would be something crazy. But we're just not gonna touch it.
It would all be uncomfortable the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It's just pure chaos.
Yeah.
Let's see.
My guys tend to just retire.
Right. Yeah. Just living in the world, doing whatever.
Mm.
I'm trying to think like Adam, if all of yours just like open up some kind of business, but I might just be thinking of Dwayne.
I think you're just
No.
thinking. Well,
You know, what is it? Oh, what's the one that you played in Strahd?
Strahd, I
He was
played
Norden.
Ori, and then I
He
played
was
Norden,
Lich.
the Lich.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Ori died.
That's basically a
And
business.
Norden became a
That's
lich.
just
Yeah.
like the business.
I think a similarity that has like with my characters is they come into the start of the campaign thinking one way and they leave completely different.
That's called
Yeah.
a character, arc, brother.
True.
No,
very
it's
I'd
true.
love to see that.
Yeah.
Or the character arc or peer pressure, one of the two.
One of the two.